Hello everyone, this is Olya, and this is step 8 towards your true intuitive self, deep healing. It's a topic, of course, connected to what we talked in the previous step, but this time I'm talking not about the transformations in life where we're forced to change, update, shift, heal, but this time I'm talking about the healing work which we need to do with ourselves in a regular way, on like an everyday level. And I believe there is no way of really developing your intuition if you don't do inner healing. You can use different tools, different intuition techniques. You can go to sacred places. You can do some creative work. You can play around with your physical energies. But unless you meet and face and heal those things which will come up in your journey, you will not really be able to shift and open up very much. Deep healing liberates our authentic selves and allows us to trust ourselves so much more. And deep healing just makes our intuition louder. We realize who we are, what we want, and our energy becomes more clear, and that's why we can hear and feel things better. And when I speak about inner healing, deep healing, I don't mean just healing maybe like childhood blocks, but I mean the whole spectrum of whatever is blocking or creating fear in us. So it's childhood healing, it's healing of any traumas we experience in adult life. It is healing of past life experiences which are still influencing us nowadays. It's healing of any fears or phobias which you have. And this means basically that to develop your intuition, you can address whatever things are blocking your way in very different ways. And it doesn't have to be just the regular psychotherapy or some other one modality. And as soon as I decided to make a video on this topic, on this step, of course, I was faced with some challenges of my own on exactly that same topic. So it's been around maybe 7 weeks or so approximately since the middle of December, where I was faced and forced to deal with one of my issues deeply, and that's why it took me 7 weeks to get over that in some way or form, so I would be able to face you guys and talk about this topic, this theme, this step without feeling like I'm lying to myself, basically. And this brings us to the point that the need for deep inner healing for your intuition does not mean that you have to do healing all the time, like 24/7. It doesn't mean also that you need to first heal everything and then only you may really hear your intuition. That's not true. With healing, what's happening is that we are like in a cycle. We are often invited to look at themes, topics, situations, and we are work in progress. We will never probably in this lifetime be completely healed from everything. But as long as we courageously step up and face issues as they come up, as long as we most of the time don't run away from our issues and do our best to look into that, and it's okay to occasionally to run away from something. It does not mean that you will not hear your intuition that way, but it's a little bit like a flow of the river. We are flowing on the river of life. And if we try to shy away from what we're facing, we kind of stop the flow and disembark and try to sit on the bank of the river and try to kind of not live the life and not let our inner self flow. But when we come back and heal and move on, and that's where we get back into the flow. And I want to share with you a bit more of my story today, with how deep healing allowed me to feel, hear, and know my true self, my spirit self, better, and find my more clear path in my professional life. Many years ago, thanks to Vedic knowledge and reconnecting to India, and also being among Hare Krishna people who really helped me to heal my self-worthiness. And thanks to family constellation therapy, it's not really therapy, but it's a group therapy practice. And thanks to being, it kind of happened in my own life. The people who were teaching Vedic knowledge, Hare Krishna people doing family constellations, and also people who are very involved in spirituality were all the same people. And for a period in my life, I was surrounded by them. And it took me probably several years of being and healing and experimenting and learning and changing and shifting, when I suddenly discovered that my big pain, which I had at the time around feeling not worthy in romantic relationships, that it healed, that I just came on a whole different level with it, and that, like, for some reason in my journey, the topic of romantic relationships at the time was huge. It was consuming me. And once that kind of heaviness and cloud around not feeling that my needs, my desires were valid, or that I'm lovable, once these pieces became much more healed, much more whole, I also found that I was able to hear my intuition better, that I was feeling my inner impulses better, and that I was trusting them more. And that eventually led me to meeting my teacher and starting to learn to do intuitive work. And even though it's not like I was constantly focused on doing the healing on this topic, or that I was consciously like, okay, I need to heal this block, but it was happening in my life. And even though like life purpose and maybe self-worthiness in romantic relationship are not that related, in my life it was an obstacle. And once it lifted, I was able to find my pathway and just open up so much more. And I would like to invite you today to put this step 8 into practice and ask yourself, in what area of your life do you feel you don't trust your intuition very well? And see if maybe you could have an insight around what fears or blocks you have for that topic, for that theme, for that area of your life. And if you look into that and you do some healing in there, you will discover that you can trust yourself more in that theme, in that topic, in that area, and that you can understand yourself better there, and that you feel what are your next steps there better. I'm sure that you who are listening to me right now have done a lot of healing work, inner healing work in your life, or you have faced some issues and you braved your inner storms. So I know you've done already a lot of work. So what I want to push to you today is that you completely heal some topic, block, or fear you've been working on, that it completely lifts, and that it liberates you, and you feel progress and flow and feel very, very, very connected to yourself. Thank you so much for watching me today. Please subscribe to my newsletter to keep staying in touch, and please subscribe to this channel to receive alerts when I post new videos. And thank you so much for listening to me today. Talk to you soon. Bye.